Good day, everybody. Welcome to the channel. This is Mike, and today I'm coming to you from my local Nissan dealership right here in northern New Jersey. Now, according to some auto experts, and of course, a lot of auto industry entertainers out there, this dealership, along with many others, as well as the entire Nissan fleet, may not be around for much longer. We hear the rumors Nissan isn't doing well, they're not making any profits, they're bleeding money, and pretty soon Nissan may be a thing of the past, right? So if we go back as recently as 2020, when the auto industry was just on fire, people were buying cars left and right, manufacturers were making money hand over fist, profits were insane. The dealerships were making money hand over fist. You, as a consumer, were paying over MSRP. You were paying those stupid market adjustments, were you? $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 over market value. You would think Nissan would get in on that, right? Well, while all the other manufacturers were making some money, Nissan was struggling just to break even. So just after 2020, when the market was resetting itself and things were kind of getting back to normal, Nissan was still struggling to make any money. They were kind of the first dealership to offer incentives to their consumers, 0% APR, money back, no cash down, whatever it was. They were trying to move the metal, as we say. And that dug into their profits quite significantly. So again, while other car manufacturers were back to making money, maybe not as much profit, but they were certainly making profits. They were still charging you and me a higher price. Manufacturers were actually raising their MSRP. Nissan still struggled. In fact, they used most of their profits for incentives for people like us to buy their product. So that brings us to where we are now. Where is Nissan right now? Are they still struggling? Yes, they are. I'll get to why I think they're struggling a little bit later in the video, but for now, I want to go over their latest ad campaign. You've heard it, right? We're dropping prices on our best-selling products, the Nissan Rogue and the Nissan Pathfinder. There are some great deals out there, and not only are they dropping prices, they're offering 0% APR to purchase their products. Now, according to Car and Driver, this is absolutely true. I like to use independent sources, so if we have a look here, the Nissan Rogue, the 2024 Nissan Rogue, as compared to the 2025 Nissan Rogue, if we compare the two, we can certainly see that there is a price reduction in all trim levels for the Nissan Rogue. And let's pull up the good old Nissan Pathfinder. Here are the 2024 MSRPs as compared to 2025. And we can certainly see that there is a price reduction in all trim levels for the Pathfinder. So before I give you my thoughts on why Nissan is struggling, I'd like to take this moment and walk the lot with y'all to find out if this ad campaign really filters down to the dealerships. Are the dealerships willing to sell these vehicles at the lower price, or are they going to put some add-ons on to bring that price right back up? Are you going to benefit from it? Let's walk the lot. We will actually look at the sticker price on these vehicles and see if they match what Nissan is promoting and what Car and Driver is promoting. Now, I'm just at this local dealership here. It's close to my home. They don't have a whole lot of vehicles in stock, but we can certainly have a look at what they're selling them for. So let's go have a look. I'm going to try to find a Rogue. I think they're over here, and find out if these prices actually match what is being advertised. So I believe, yeah, according the Rogues start at under $30,000. I think it's 28, 29,000. So let's see what we have here. Yeah. Okay, we have the 2025 Nissan Rogue all-wheel drive. Oh, their base price is $30,600. That's more. That's more than what's being advertised for. $29,500, I believe the advertised price is on Nissan.com. Oh, but here they're adding these little doodads here. What is it? I put on my glasses. Yeah, they're adding splash guards and floor mats too. So that brings it up to $30,600. Destination charges they didn't put online. So all in all, you're out the door at $32,700, not the $29,500 that is advertised. So you're going to have to add on a few things when you come to the dealership. Let's have a look at another one here. You know, the Rogue is not a bad looking car. It's pretty sleek. It is small. It is definitely underpowered, but let's have a look. This is the SV. The price on that is $32,300. Of course, they're going to add the splash guards in there, chrome bumper protector, seat back, first aid kit. They're going to charge you for that. Destination, so not quite the $30,000 they promised, but another $4,000 on top of that for $34,600. That's for the SV. Now for their most expensive trim level, the SR, I believe. That's what it's called. Let's have a look at that one. The SL, I'm sorry. Okay, that one is supposed to come in around $38,000 or $39,000. That's their reduced price for the 2025 Nissan Rogue. And we have $36,400 for the manufacturer's suggested price. Of course, we've got all these options. We've got the technology package, which I do like. Kind of package there. It's splash guards, chrome. Yeah, so we've got all of these add-ons. So it brings that total MSRP, including destination charge, up to $43,800. So be prepared to write a big old check for this one. Have they lowered the prices? Yes, they have. But once you put on all of the add-ons here, it's going to increase that cost a little bit. But that doesn't matter. They would do the same thing to last year's model too. So let's go on to the Pathfinders and see what we find out with that. Again, this lot, you know, not a whole lot of cars, but here we have a Rock Creek Nissan Rogue. Pretty good looking design, if you ask me. Some big old tires on here. Get you through some back end woods, through the mud, through the snow, whatever you need to go through, it'll get you through. Small engine again. It's not my favorite. But let's see, the 2025 Rock Creek Edition, $33,400. You put the add-ons on, $36,100. Actually, it's not a bad price for this. And I don't know if we can see inside here, but it's pretty cool. It's got that two-tone stitching inside. Again, all Nissans, you know, I'm impressed with their interior. They have a really good interior for this price point. And of course, we've got the rugged roof mount for your bikes or camping gear, whatever you need. Of course, it's all-wheel drive. Got that two-tone badging in the back, so it makes it that Rock Creek look. Got the wheel flares around here, pretty good, nice. I like this design. Just wish the engine were just upgraded a bit. Let's get on with the Pathfinder, see what we can see with them. All right, so we've come to the Pathfinders, and according to Nissan here, the S, which is their entry level, should start at around $37,700. So let's have a look. Okay, we have 2025 Pathfinder S four-wheel drive, $39,070. That doesn't seem to match. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. 39,070. $3,770 is what it says on here. It's $2,000 more. I wonder why that is. Maybe it's, I mean, that equals $600. That doesn't equal $2,000. Then you put your destination charge on here. Total out the door price is well, not out the door. You got to add tax and stuff. But $41,000 for this 2025 Pathfinder, when on Nissan it's $37,700. There's definitely a discrepancy there. Well, it is what it is, I guess. So let's move on to the SL and find out what's going on with that. I've walked a lot before. I don't see any SVs in stock. So that should be starting, according to Nissan, on their official web, $43,480. I don't know if you can see that, but we'll just round it up to $44,000. So SL. Well, this starts off at a whopping $1,000 more than what's advertised. It's $45,200. We put on all of these doodads here, plus a destination. We're talking a total price of $47,600. And of course, we got to add wheel locks, right? $150 for wheel locks. There is a discrepancy. I don't know why. I'm here on a Sunday. There's nobody I can ask why. Maybe some of you in the comments section can let me know and let others know. Here's another S for $38,400. Again, that's a little higher than what is advertised. Let's find out what this Pathfinder is going for. This is an SL. Again, it is $45,260. And total price there is $47,600 once you add the destination and all of these roof rails, splash guards, whatever. And I'm sure there's wheel locks on here too. Nice vehicle though. I do like the rugged look of the Pathfinder. A very nice riding vehicle as well. That's one thing Nissan has going for it, is its interior with its race-inspired seats. It's very comfortable to ride in, and it's very durable as well. So now that we've seen some of these Nissans in stock, and some of the prices come close, some of them don't come close to what's advertised. Maybe you can go into the dealer and ask what the hell is going on. You see this price online and this is on your window. Maybe they can explain it to you. Maybe, again, somebody can drop a comment and figure out why the hell that is. But so I told you I'd give you my opinion on why I think Nissan is not doing so well. You know, everybody has their opinions out there. Some are right on the button, some are just fantasy. But the most common opinion that I find out there is the quality of the product. Nissan is just not as quality driven as other car manufacturers. We've got problems with their CVT transmissions. We've got problems with knocking and pinging with the engines. We've got electrical gremlins. We've got a lot of issues with the vehicle, and nobody wants those problems. That's number one. Number two, styling. Let's face it, if you look at, it doesn't matter what it is, a Pathfinder, a Rogue, or a Sentra or Ultima, they kind of all look the same, right? I mean, can you tell which one is a Pathfinder, which one is a Rogue on this line, just by looking at the front? No. You've got some, again, the design, pretty much the same. It hasn't been updated since 2018, or in some cases even longer than that. So maybe the styling is a bit outdated, and there's so many more options out there that, you know, they're kind of falling by the wayside in the styling department. So those are some things that people say out there about Nissan. In my opinion, some of it's true and some of it's not. So yes, there is some truth to Nissan's quality issues. Let's get that over with. Their CVT transmissions from Jamco aren't the best. Okay, they've last maybe 50, 60, 70,000 miles. You're not going to get 100,000 miles out of a transmission, and that's a big turnoff to people. However, it has gotten better. There are other manufacturers out there, including Subaru, who use the CVT transmission. It's not all bad. It does require maintenance, and I bet you a lot of those transmissions that crapped out at 60, 70,000 miles didn't have a bit of maintenance done to them. Now, I agree that as a consumer, you'd want a little bit more heads up on that. You'd want a little bit more durability out of a transmission like that. And maybe Nissan has gotten better. Maybe Jamco has produced a better overall transmission. But you and I, we don't hear about that. We just hear about the problems that have happened. So if Nissan wants to get on board and really stick to these CVT transmissions, you better go ahead and pop a good warranty on that, or let people know that it has been upgraded and it's more durable. So what about styling? Yeah, the styling is kind of stale, but they have tried to update their styling a little bit. You can see here the Frontiers. They're pretty basic. The trucks, again, Nissan doesn't have a large truck line. It's only the Frontiers. We'll get back to that in a second. But their latest design with the Muranos, they've updated that, and as well as the 2025 kicks. So if you look at the Muranos, for example, it's a more aggressive front. Okay, it doesn't have that traditional V swoop in the middle. It's got a hint of it, but it's got this light bar. It's not a real light bar, but it's got this bar in the front. Okay, a different styling. Does have a light bar in the back though. It's pretty neat. It's got this LED light bar all across the back here. Okay, so they are introducing a bit more styling dimension, let's put it that way, to their fleet. And if we go over here, this is the new kicks. Okay, you can see the wheel design is pretty futuristic, and they have copied a little bit of the design elements from the Murano. So they are trying. They are trying. Again, this is the classic version here. Okay, and a little bit more styling update here. So the styling is getting a bit better. So one of my top reasons why Nissan is struggling as compared to other auto dealers and manufacturers out there is brand loyalty. You've heard these people. I love Dodge, I love Ram, whatever. Well, they're not even made, they're not even American owned anymore. But you'll still find people that don't care. They're going to go out, they're going to buy their Ram truck. Oh, I like the 8-cylinder power it has. Well, what did they do? They took the 8-cylinder out, replaced it with a 6-cylinder. Oh, they buy it anyway. It doesn't matter. They'll buy a Ram because they're Ram people. Same thing with Ford. Oh, my great-grandfather owned a Ford. My dad owned a Ford, so I'm going to own a Ford. Well, there's more recalls on a Ford than there are days in a month. Well, that's okay. I don't care. I'm going to go buy one anyway. Right? So that's brand loyalty, just like Chevy. You go out and buy a nice Chevy truck, the engine grenades on you. You've heard all these recalls. The engines are no good in the Chevys, but you go out and buy one anyway. Why? Because you're a Chevy guy. What's their solution? Bring it in. If there's damage to your engine, we'll replace it. If not, we're going to just change the motor oil. That'll fix the problem, right? You take that to the bank. Wow, Chevy, you're fantastic. Let's go out there and change the oil. We'll make these people feel better. Well, it doesn't matter. You're going to buy one anyway because you love Chevys. Well, Nissan has a problem with that. I haven't come across many people, there are a few, that say, yeah, Nissan, they just come out with a new Murano or a new Kicks. I'm going to go buy one now. You don't kind of hear that. Also, they don't have a niche. They don't have a, there's manufacturers out there that come up with these things like Hyundai and Kia. Remember when Kia was non-existent? They were on the verge of bankruptcy. Hyundai bought them over, and what did they do to drive business? Well, we're going to offer the best warranty in the auto business. It doesn't matter that their engines blow up or that they shake, rattle, and roll after, 3 years. It doesn't matter. They have a 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. It'll be fixed. Well, that's their thing. So people will buy Hyundai, Kia based on the warranty. And Toyota, they have their niche. Quality is number one, right? If you buy a used Toyota at 120,000 miles on it, that's considered low mileage. So these manufacturers have that little niche, that little hook to bring in customers. Nissan, no such thing. They don't have that. What do you think of when you think of Nissan? I don't know. Cheap? What do you think? Lackluster? You think, it's just a car I'm going to get my kid, out of high school, maybe one of his or her first car. Or maybe I need something to commute to work and back in, and I don't want to use my good car for that, so I'm just going to buy a Nissan. That's kind of where they fall. So it's kind of an identity problem that Nissan has, and I think they can fix that. I think they really have some good quality cars. Let me show you. So here are a few things I think Nissan has going for it. In all of their vehicles, they have a fantastic interior. Now, I've owned a few Nissan products in my life. I've owned an Altima, I've owned the Sentra, I've driven the Rogue, the Pathfinder, and I have recently checked out the Armada, which I'll get into in a bit. The Aria, I haven't poked my head into, but I did own a Leaf as well. And with all of these vehicles, the interiors, the seats are very comfortable. They're durable, they're rugged, they don't fade, they don't crumple, they wear really well. I think the interior, their race-inspired seating are incredible. I think they're very comfortable for this class of car. Also, if you look at their trucks, okay, no, they don't match Ford or Chevy or Toyota. You're getting their Frontier, which is one size. Yeah, there's different trim levels, but there's not a big variety. However, if you're looking for a decent truck, this is a really decent truck. You get 4x4 here. It's a reasonably priced vehicle at $45,000. You get a solid powertrain with this. The seats, the interior are comfortable. It's a naturally aspirated V6 engine in here. There's no bells and whistles on the engine. It's pretty easy to maintain, to take care of. There's no turbocharger. There's no plastic bits. It's a solid engine. It should last a long time, and it's mounted to a pretty decent transmission. It is not a CVT transmission. Is it Jamco? I believe it is. However, it is a standard automatic transmission. No continuously variable transmission. So it can pull a load, plenty powerful for that, and it's got enough cargo space for whatever you need to haul from Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever you go. So it's not bad. It has the bed liner in here. Okay, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles like step bumpers. Maybe it does. Yeah, it's got a power outlet over there. So it comes with some nice creature features, some step ups on there. So again, if you're looking for a reasonable, durable pickup truck, this isn't a bad little guy to go with. So another thing Nissan has to offer that is pretty decent quality is the large SUV market. Now, we've heard of the Expedition, the Tahoe, the Palisades. We've heard of all the Escalade. We've heard of all of these big, giant SUVs that look like buses, and they're very expensive. They're really expensive. However, they do all ride really well. They're nice if you have a large family and you can afford it. Why not? But Nissan has one too. It's called the Armada. Let's have a look at it. Now, maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't. Nissan does not do a very good job of advertising their Armada. It's a pretty good size SUV. Look at the size of this monster. It's like a freaking bus. Yeah, it can haul a family and a half. It's got some big tires on it. This is all blacked out. Nice. Step ups on here. And this one is the SL, intelligent all-wheel drive. You can see, you know, this isn't cheap. What is the price on here? Total price here with destination and everything is $73,000. That's about what other SUVs in this class are. Actually, they're pretty more expensive. A Lincoln Navigator, for example, is over $100,000. So this is probably a reasonably priced vehicle, and I did check it out, okay? Let me tell you a little bit about it. Yeah, are there some things that can use a little bit of improvement on? Sure, but I really haven't had time to really do a deep dive in it. But let me tell you, first of all, the engine on this, like most manufacturers, they took the V8 out of this. So last year, I think it came with a V8. This year in 2025, it's a 6-cylinder with twin turbos. All right, the turbos aren't giant in here, so they're not going to scream at you, but they are going to give you more power than previous years. So it's going to give you a little more torque, a little more power than the V8 in this beast right here, if you can imagine that. So I've driven it, it takes off. Trust me, you tap the gas on this, it's moving, all right? It's also very easy to work on. Believe it or not, I can't pop the hood on this, but if I could, I'd show you that there's plenty of room in the engine bay to work on this. Can you believe it? You can bring it to a mechanic and they won't charge you $6,000 for a timing chain. It is direct injected, so there is a high pressure fuel pump, but it's not buried underneath the engine. It doesn't take 2 hours to remove it and replace it. Okay, if it does need replaced, it's right near the top. Some bolts, take them out. Pretty easy. Also, you're not going to find a lot of plastic bits in this engine either. Okay, the hose clamps are nice. They're rubber hoses, of course, but there's a lot of metal tubing in there. There's no plastic tubing. All of those tee-offs or whatever they call them, joints, they're not plastic, they're metal. Great thing. Also, it has what I saw on this, it has an aluminum drive shaft, so it's a little lighter weight. The transfer case is fantastic because it is all-wheel drive, and the 9-speed transmission in here, I think, is inspired by a German transmission because of the bolts they use. They're those little, you know, hex bolts in there. But it does come from Jamco. It is a 9-speed transmission. It's pretty rock solid. And it is not, I repeat, not a CVT transmission. The interior on this is first class all the way. I don't know if you can see it in here. Very easy ergonomics, heated, cooled seats, steering wheel, all of that. Moonroof, not mountain, panoramic sunroof on here. 3 rows, high quality stereo system, and rear air conditioning and heating on this beast, of course, for your passengers. So if you're thinking of purchasing a large SUV for your family or whatever you need it for, check out the Armada. It's not a bad car. I mean, of course, the Expedition, the Tahoe, you're going to drive them anyway, but if you want to save a little money and ride around in style, check out the Armada. It's a really good car. So my final thoughts on Nissan. Hey, look, I know they're trying to get customers in the door. I know they're trying to move metal. They're lowering prices. I hope it helps. The Pathfinder, the Rogue, not a bad vehicle. The Armada, if you're looking for a nice vehicle, it's great. The engine's rock solid. The interior is spacious and luxurious. I think Nissan's got a lot going for it. What it needs to do is develop that brand loyalty. I don't know if that's going to be an easy thing, though, to be honest with you. I really don't. You know, their styling is being updated with the new Murano and the Kicks. It's getting a facelift. The Leaf, you know, that's been around forever, but they're discontinuing that EV line. The Area is supposed to take over. I don't think that's going to succeed too well because, let's face it, there are plenty of EVs out there for way better prices than you can get on the Area. But anyway, Nissan has a path to success. And if they can just develop that brand loyalty, or develop its own niche or niche, or however the hell you say that, I think it'll go a long way. So maybe they can offer, you know, an extended warranty to get people out of that fear of the CVT transmission. Offer a 100,000-mile warranty. What do you got to lose? You know, it'll give people a peace of mind. They'll get in it once they drive it. That interior, if they're going to love that interior. It's super. It's fantastic. For this price point, hey, I would take it. I have. You know, I've owned a couple of vehicles. So anyway, I think Nissan, if they implement a few little things, can be back to profitability again. I think they are moving in the right direction, lowering prices and incentivizing people to come and purchase their cars. And all in all, I don't think Nissan is going anywhere for at least a few years anyway, unless some catastrophe happens. But I think Nissan's going to get stronger. Hope you liked the video, and thank you very much for watching. Have a fantastic day.